What do I do to increase sales? What do I do to keep people coming back? Right? It's just kind of a no-brainer. So there's a lot of power and reasons to want to do this for your business. Everyone, today's video is going to be focused more on the business side of things. And it's regarding a topic that a lot of you ask me a lot about, especially if you're new to running a business and you've got a new online website, for example, Shopify, and you're looking for tips and tricks on how to increase your sales, how to get new customers, and then more importantly, how to keep those customers back. If you've been involved in business, especially e-commerce business, for any amount of time, then there's one thing you all know, and that is that it's much cheaper to keep customers than it is to get new ones. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how to keep those customers coming back, but also just how to increase your sales in general on your website. Now, this is specific to candle business because that's what I run and that's what most of you watching this video run, but this would apply to any product-based business using e-commerce website like Shopify. So with that in mind, here's the outline for today's video. First, I'm going to talk about why we should not ignore this and why this is a great way, great opportunity to increase your sales, and why you don't have to be spending a lot of money or any money for that matter, and you can do this all from your website very easily, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Then I'm going to introduce you to the app that I'm going to be talking about today and showing you a little bit of how it works, but first I'm going to highlight its main advantages before we take a look at a little bit more detail. Let's start off with why is email and SMS marketing so important for a candle business or any other product-based business on your website. For starters, it's one thing to try to get a new customer to your website. That's always difficult, and there are a lot of ways to go about doing that. But once a customer does become aware of your brand, you don't want to lose them. It's much easier and more effective and efficient to keep that customer coming back in the future. Some ways to do that are through SMS and email promotions, welcome emails to welcome them to your club. Welcome to my brand. Thank you for shopping for the first time. Here's a little bonus. You could reward your customers for shopping on your website, or try to encourage them every few months to come back and shop some more, or give them an anniversary promotion from 1 year past their first ever purchase on your site. And another great way to use those functions is for abandoned carts. Now, this is something that drives a lot of e-commerce websites nuts because there's so many shoppers that will shop around, add things to their carts, and then they just kind of move on and they never really check out. Well, most websites these days and platforms will remind your customers for you. Shopify, for example, does have an abandoned cart option, but it doesn't give you a lot of flexibility. And so applications like the one I'm going to show you today give you a lot more control over the type of message your customer gets, or the type of discount you might want to offer them, or how often you would remind them about an abandoned cart. So the long story short here is it's really important to get customers to your shop, and then you really want them to convert, right? You want them to actually purchase something, and if that takes a little extra nudge, then it's well worth it. But then more importantly, you want them to keep coming back after that first initial sale. So that is the importance behind SMS and email marketing. However, it's not just about conversion. It's not just about getting and then keeping customers. It's also just about ease of use for you. If you're used to doing craft shows or used to doing direct sales or posting your products on social media, a lot of that takes a lot of work. It's all manual work for the most part, and you're spending a lot of your own time and energy to try to promote your business and promote your products. But the benefit of using some tools like SMS email marketing is they can be fully automated, or at least mostly automated. So these things happen without you having to put a lot of effort or time into them. They just happen in the background, and they're doing the work for you. So it's also just about making your life as a business owner easier. I made a video in the past that talked about an individual business owner, like most of the people here on this channel are, is that we are a CEO, the Chief Everything Officer. We have to do everything as a business owner, especially a small business owner. You're in control of everything. There's so much on your plate. So why not delegate some of that off of your plate, especially to an automated tool that can do a lot of this for you and do it for free, right? It's just kind of a no-brainer. So there's a lot of power and reasons to want to do this for your business. And many of you are always reaching out to me asking for tips on your website. What are some of the best plugins? What do I do to increase sales? What do I do to keep people coming back? And how can I handle so many things all at once? Well, it's for tools like this, like we're talking about today. And then the purpose of all of this, getting new customers, bringing customers back, automating processes, saving yourself time and energy, what does it all boil down to? It's all about revenue, increasing sales, increasing revenue, and increasing your profits. But you also don't want to do that by constantly adding more and more of your own time. I think we're all on the same page here why this is important. Let's talk about the app that I think you should check out if you're running an e-commerce website store, and specifically Shopify in this case. And that app or integration is called Engage Message. And I'm going to highlight some of the reasons why this one has some great advantages in general, but also some advantages over other applications that do sort of the same thing. And then also we're going to dive into the app itself, and I'm going to show you real quickly how to get started on it, because it's very, very simple and you're going to be really amazed at the power and the simplicity of it. So the first thing I want to mention, as I just touched on, is it's so easy. We are too busy all the time. We don't need something that's complicated and difficult. So we need something very easy to use, and this application checks that box. Also, as I touched on before, one of the great advantages is the level of automation. They have some series, is what they call them, and they're basically pre-structured templates or campaigns ready to go, and then you just change a few things, like your logo, your message, your discount, or whatever you want to change about it is totally optional. But the point is they help you do this, and it's very, very easy. You'll see that here in a few minutes. But the best part is that the rest of it's so automated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, it doesn't even have to cross your mind. You can just check how it's doing. You can just literally go to your dashboard at the homepage and just see the results, see how it's doing. The automation's great. Another huge advantage. Now, even though this is a email and SMS marketing tool or app, it does much more than that, which is another huge advantage of this. Most tools kind of do one thing, and then you have to kind of go piece together some other applications to do other things. For example, maybe you just want a banner at the top of your website that says free shipping on orders over whatever. I've got one of those as well. Or you just want any other random message, or maybe you want screen pops or something like that. These are all different applications normally. Well, Engage Message allows you to do those things as well. So it's not just the email and SMS. There's other little things that you can use it for as well, because it's already bolted into your website. So it makes all of this just kind of work in more harmony, which is fantastic because, again, as I've said many times, we already have a lot on our plate to think about. And some of these other features or these series or templates I've already talked about are so much better than the stock ones that you get with Shopify natively. Shopify does give you some abilities to do some of these things, but they're very basic, they're very stock. And there's not a lot of customization or a lot of power behind them. So another advantage of an application like this is that's what it's designed to do, and it does a really good job of doing it. Speaking of doing some other things besides just SMS and email marketing, you can also schedule your social media posts with this. So I used to use a different application for this as well. Actually, I've used a couple different ones. And they're all great, and there are several good ones out there. But if you're already using an application to push out SMS and email automated messages, why not also schedule your Facebook and Instagram posts as well? Well, you can do that with this if you want. You don't have to, but it's there if you want to use it. And again, I'll show you some of this here in a few minutes. As far as SMS and email marketing apps that integrate with your Shopify store, I don't know of another one that has this, and that is a mobile app, Android and iOS. And it also works inside the Shopify mobile app. So you can manage all of this from your phone if you want to as well, which is great. You don't have to be sitting at your desktop to do it. You can check it. You can schedule, start, or stop little campaigns or series anytime you want, just from your phone. All right, so that's enough kind of highlighting the great things about the app. Let me dive into the app and show you a little bit more about how it works. Now, one thing I want to mention before we dive in here and show you kind of behind the scenes on this is that at the time of making this video, many of you that have checked my website recently already know this, but I am working on a complete redesign for two reasons. One, I'm relocating everything, and it's a lot easier if my website's down while I move inventory and stock and all of that, and I'm plenty busy with some of my other accounts that I've just decided to temporarily kind of close that down. But at the same time, it also gave me an opportunity to redesign the entire website, which is also what I'm working on. However, that doesn't stop me from showing you this application, because this is also a great opportunity to kind of start from scratch and all of that as well. So I have bolted it onto my website, and I'm going to show you what that process kind of looks like the very first time, which has actually worked out great because most of you would be adding this application for the first time, and we can kind of see what it looks like at the early stages and what it kind of walks you through. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's go ahead and take a look. So after you sign up, which again is completely free, the very first thing that you'll see is a kind of template starter window that says start with these popular series. And these are pre-made templates or drafts that you can start with out of the gate. You can always turn them off later or on later. So it doesn't really matter what you do here, but it does kind of give you the opportunity to start with something. welcome coupon, instant checkout coupon, a follow-up after purchase discount. We're gonna go ahead and leave them all on and just go ahead and hit next. Next, we can also do the same thing with your SMS. Oh, and another cool feature, if you do turn on the automated SMS messaging, it will set up a toll-free business number for you that those messages are sent from, so that it's not using your personal cell phone. Next, you can choose which templates you want to leave on for both your Instagram and Facebook. We can go ahead and just connect them, and we're just gonna go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll fast forward. All right, so we've linked our social media accounts as well. Let's go ahead and get to our dashboard. Okay, so here we are at the home screen or the dashboard. Now, again, as I mentioned, new website, brand new integration. We are starting from scratch, and you'll see that along the top, you can see how much total revenue you've had, but also how much revenue you are getting per individual type of method, which is really cool. So you can see your email revenue, SMS, how many carts you end up saving, and then your Instagram and Facebook revenue. So not only do you get the big picture, but you can dive in a little bit deeper and see which of these is being more productive or effective than the others. So let's go ahead and dive into the sidebar here and take a look at what we got. So we don't really need to dive into contacts. All that contacts is gonna do is just show anyone that has signed up or purchased from your website in the past. In fact, I'm actually not gonna click that because it will show all of the contacts and customers from my website. Planner is a new feature, and this is related to the scheduled actions that you're gonna do. So if you set up campaigns and automated messages and postings and things like that, you can actually schedule all of that in advance or as you go, and at any point in time, you can kind of go to this calendar and see what you have scheduled or what you have planned. But outbound is where you're gonna really, really live in this app. By the way, before we go any further, if you've never added an app to your Shopify website store, which I'm assuming you probably have, but if you haven't, you just go to your Shopify store, you go down towards the bottom, click apps, and you add install new app. You're just gonna search for Engage Message. You will see it. You just simply say install app. You give it the permissions it needs to be integrated into your website, and really that's it. And then you sign up, but all of that is free. I mean, there's nothing else to it. After you've done that, that's how we got to this point. As noted, it's broken down into 4 sections as far as outbound goes. Email, one is SMS, your social media post, and then the series. And series are these pre-drafted templates to help you get going out of the box. Now you're gonna see here on email, I went ahead and created one because I wanted to show you what it looks like to edit. And so I didn't really do too much with it, but I wanted to show you that you have the ability to edit those at any time as well. And I'll briefly touch on these real quick. If you wanted to start a new email campaign, you just click email, create email message. You can use some of the templates they've got here on the left. There's simple text like basic emails. There are sales templates. There are welcome templates. There's download templates if you want them to download something. And then just generic business marketing templates like a blowout sale, don't miss out, things like that. SMS, of course, same thing, new SMS. You can actually see a preview of what you're going to be sending through SMS. And you could just type something like, thanks for your first purchase with Black Tie Barn. As a thank you, here is 20% off your next purchase. If I can spell purchase correctly. And then you could provide a code here or whatever you want to do, or just a simple, oops, misspelled that too. Or just a simple thank you and whatever. It could also just be just a nice thank you message, and that's it. By default, it's going to have a reply stop to opt out of these messages appended to the end. And then you would decide, who do you want to receive this? A one-off, like you're going to send one just directly as a one-off message, or you want to send it to anyone who accepts marketing and that marketing is true. You can also schedule these in advance as well. So you can create different rules for using these. But again, we're going to see this a little bit better action here when we get to the series. So next we're going to go to social media post. And here you're going to see an Instagram feed preview from my phone too. So these are some of my more recent posts on Instagram, and it's going to show that preview, which is kind of a nice touch. But once again, we can do new social media post. We can drop in a few products, select them from the computer. We can say we want to share to both or just one, either Instagram or Facebook. Check out Sweet Tobacco, our newest product in our Hideout collection. We hope you enjoyed as much as we do. And then drop the image here and then scroll down and you can say we want to tag these products. We want to add the first comment to this product. Anything else that you want to do, and then you just hit done. Most of you have scheduled social media posts before, but what's nice is you can do that all here within the same app. So if you're going to post a new product or provide a discount or a coupon, you can go ahead and create a post for that as well at the same time. It just makes sense to kind of do it all together. Let's get into series, because this is where almost all of you are going to start, including me again, once I get my new website done. And that is pre-drafted templates or series or campaigns or whatever you want to call them, out of the box, ready to go. For example, we have a welcome message with a coupon. How about recover abandoned cart with coupon? Here you can see the basic rules that are already created. When someone abandons their cart after 1 hour, send an email that says, are you still deciding? How does 10% off sound? And then you can edit all these as well. So we can click on that and change the percentage. We can change the discount right here by clicking edit discount. We can create a fixed amount or a certain percentage, a certain minimum requirements they have to meet, and does this promotion expire? But once again, the point is they give you the template and then you can customize it to whatever you want to do. And then within this specific campaign, you can see up here how many times this worked. What kind of revenue did you get from this coupon? How many orders, how many emails were sent, how many emails were opened, so conversion rates as well. It's really, really nice, and you can pause it at any time, edit at any time, or just stop it entirely if you'd like to. So it's very easy to set up with using these series because it's already created for you and you just got to customize it for your needs. You know, the thank you after purchase is a really popular one as well. So here it just says, one day after the customer makes a purchase in your store, send a thank you email to the customer. The goal is to increase customer satisfaction to bring in more repeat business. Follow-up emails after purchases are so powerful because it engages with your customer, it lets them know that you appreciate their business, and it encourages them to want to come back shopping to you in the future. If they purchase from you, they may just completely forget about that days, weeks, or months later. But if you send these periodically, it really, really helps your conversion and your engagement rate. But let's go ahead and move down to what options we have for SMS. Now again, you can make a lot more than we're seeing here. It's just these are pre-made series for you. I really like the SMS Recover Abandoned Cart with Coupon to go to your phone. And the reason I like that as an SMS is because most people who have abandoned cart have already left your website, which means they're probably not sitting in front of a computer most likely. Now, if they are, you can definitely send it there as well as an email, but it's also nice that maybe they've just left and forgot or they got preoccupied. Everyone always has their phone with them. So if they've got their phone with them, send them the same thing and hey, we noticed you left a few items in your cart. Don't forget about them. Here's 10% off. And you don't have to provide a certain percentage off, or you can provide a higher percentage off. It's completely up to you. But sending this as an SMS can be a really, really powerful reminder to your customers. You can send a follow-up purchase promotion. You can send coupons to VIP customers. The point is you can do this both over email and SMS, which is super helpful. And then as we already talked about, you can auto post and sell new products and best-selling products on Facebook and Instagram as well. I'm not going to dive back into one of those specifically because we already showed one, but the nice thing about that is anytime you add a new product or you have a best-selling product on your Shopify store, Engage Message will automatically take that and make a post about it to your Instagram and Facebook. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. You've added a new product to your store. It's ready to sell. Well, let the promotion happen for you. It's great. It's a really, really great tool because, again, we got a ton of things on our mind and I forget to do some things like that. And it's normal. It's natural. That's why programs like this exist. Now that we've seen how to create some of these, let's go to one that already exists. And I made one called Welcome, 20% off. That's just the title of this message that's going to go out. That's for my reference. If we click on that, let's say I want to edit that a little bit. So by default, we're going to say, this is coming from, here's the address it's coming from. Here is the subject of the email, 20% off, welcome and thank you. That is the subject that the customer will see in their inbox. And then I went ahead and added a logo and I kind of left most everything else the same. We just want to say thank you, 20% off your next purchase. I added a couple quick photos. Maybe you show your newest products or your best-selling products here. It's entirely up to you. Here's the code that we're going to use for this promotion, and then click Get It Now. And that will take them right to it. Now, a couple things. So right now it's in draft status. If I want this to be live, I just simply click Set Live. If I want to duplicate this to use this as like a template for the next item, I can just duplicate it. Or I can choose Edit if I want to change something. So now I can actually edit the look of this entirely if I want. I can change the columns, I can add new buttons, I can change the heading, I can replace images or add new images. I can specify a certain product. But I really like the way this looks overall, but maybe I just want to change the discount. So I'm going to change this to a 15% discount, and then I'm going to change the code to 15% off, and then I just hit Save and Close. So it's that simple to change a campaign or a message that you already have drafted. You don't have to make a whole new one. You can just change it if you want, or duplicate it and have them both running. If you need to edit who it's going to, or when you're creating this from scratch, you want to know who will receive it. Well, as right now, I have this set to ongoing, meaning this campaign just always runs. But I set up a rule that says if someone has purchased from Shopify and it was at least a day ago, so in other words, anytime someone makes a purchase, at least a day after that, they're going to get another email that says, hey, thank you for purchasing. We want to say thank you by giving you 15% off of your next purchase. So that's who will receive it. And then you can schedule a time. Well, in this case, this is scheduled by a trigger. So I'll just say start sending immediately. And anytime this trigger is met, the email will happen. So the point is this tool is very powerful. However, it's very simple. And that is not two things that you typically get together. There are a lot of things that are very powerful, but can be overly complicated to use. And it just ends up kind of sitting there, never really getting any attention. Or things are very, very simple to use, but they just don't do a whole lot. This is the power behind Engaged Message. It does so much for you, a lot of automation, a lot of conversion, increases revenue, and it's very easy to use. So if you haven't checked it out, I definitely encourage you to check it out. Many of you have been asking me about these kind of applications, and there are other apps I use as well, and in future videos, I'll talk about those. But for SMS and email marketing, definitely check out this one, Engaged Message, if you haven't already, specifically if you're using a Shopify store. Hopefully next time I dive a little bit more into my website and tips and tricks that I use, I'll have a fully up and new website that I can show you this a little bit more in action, but at least for the purpose of this video, I didn't really need it. In fact, it actually kind of worked out because I could show you setting it up from scratch. That being said, I still really need to get my website done. It's been taking a while, so. Regardless what you decide whether to try this app or not, I would highly encourage you to spend some time thinking about SMS and email marketing. Because as I've said before, and many of you already know, getting customers is really, really important. Keeping them is just as, if not more important. And real quick, before I let you go, let me know in the comments, some of these ideas or templates that we've ran through today, have you used any of these types of discounts or promotions, like the welcome discount or the thank you discount or the follow-up discount, things like that? I'm really curious how many of you are already using something like this. All right, that's enough. Get out of here. I'll let you guys go and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.